Good morning and welcome back to White Mountains Today here on White Mountain TV 16. Joining us right here is Chrissy Fraser from the Mount Washington Observatory. Chrissy, how are you?
Doing great. Good morning.
It's a kind of a Mount Washington Observatory type weather going on, isn't it?
A little bit fast and furious to kick off the winter, it seems, huh?
Absolutely. It's kind of crazy. You were telling me earlier that their snow amount is already
3 feet over.
3
Average.
feet over.
Yep. For this time of year.
Which is unbelievable. They start that in July. You said they start tracking that in July. And already at 87 inches for the year. Unbelievable.
A lot of shoveling.
I can just imagine. Well, we had the great photos earlier that we were showing, and the Rime ice and the snow that's up there.
So beautiful.
And I mean, it's so cool to check out the website, mountwashington.org, and find out the weather that's going on. Of course, then listen to it here on weekends. Plus, there's a lot of other things. So what's going on at the observatory?
Well, so many things. I mean, obviously with the winter kind of rolling in that quickly, that, as you know, I mean, every week they do a shift change.
Right.
And these guys are up there 24 hours a day, 365 days a year doing their hourly weather observation. And so, you know, getting to and from the summit in the winter months is always a little challenging.
Right.
And so the challenges have started a little bit earlier, which is fine. They're used to it. They're a pretty hardy bunch up there. But one way that's like a really good way to kind of really get a sense of those guys and sort of what they're really experiencing is they do Facebook Lives now twice on the weekends. They're going to be doing a Friday evening at 6. They've been doing them for a while now, and they're really popular.
Oh, they're so much fun.
Yeah, it's because it really shows you how they kind of put their forecast together, and they can kind of show you some of the different types of forecast sort of, I guess, technology that they use. And it's just fascinating, and for anyone that's kind of a little bit interested in the weather, it really kind of gives you an interesting sense of what they see, and obviously this year where it's been so tumultuous,
right,
and the high winds and the icing and the snow, and so it's always a good thing to tune in. So Friday nights they do it at 6, and then Sundays mornings at 8:30 too.
It's really neat because you watch it and you can ask them questions and they answer their questions.
Yeah.
And
once in a while, the cat makes an appearance, you know, and they get to, if the weather permits, they get to go out on the deck, and you can really see sort of what's happening from the summit. Versus, I mean, again, it's so different what you can see from the summit oftentimes than from what is happening in the valley, and so it gives you a real true sense, especially if you're heading into the backcountry, just how to be prepared and like what to look out for, and just to really understand the difference in what's happening.
Right, absolutely, and I think that's one of the things that is that people might not always think about with the observatory, but being able, you've got people who are up here on the summits, and if you are going to be making a trek out there, you've got to do so much anyway. You've got to plan ahead, and that just gives you one more way to help plan ahead. Yeah,
and it's a pretty special thing to be able to have this, you know, very unique post doing these forecasts for the White Mountain area, and to really have that true sense of what's happening. And then the mesonet, you know, the 1,000-foot vertical profile, it's an amazing tool, and it's a great resource. So
yeah, I know if I was doing any winter hiking, not that I ever do, that would be exactly the type of thing that I would track.
Yeah,
because one thing, if you look at a forecast, well, we think this is what's going on up there. No, we know what's going on up on the summit of Mount Washington and the surrounding mountains. So
pretty neat.
So it's very cool. So what else is going on with the observatory these days?
Well, so this weekend, as you may be aware, and I'm sure someone's going to be coming on the program at some point to talk about the tree lighting that's happening, the old-fashioned Christmas that takes place each year here. And the Weather Discovery Center, the Mount Washington Observatory, has been involved in it for the past several years, where the museum stays open a little bit later. And part of the whole program is that they do a Angels and Elves toy drive, or this year they're also incorporating a food drive. And so this year it's going to be really based out of the Weather Discovery Center. So if anyone wants to drop off non-perishable food items or Toys for Tot gift, it'll all be part of the entire weekend festivities.
That's great.
And then also, when you do bring one of those items, you can have free admission into the museum, or obviously we have our retail store that has very unique kind of items in it, and weather items and observatory wear and things like that, and you can purchase things there, educational toys and you can get 20% off to put into the Angels and Elves bucket.
That's
you get
great.
20% off your entire purchase if you're purchasing something for Angels and Elves.
That's terrific.
So, Yeah.
And it's a great place to go for the weather geek on your holiday shopping list.
Absolutely.
And or just to go in and find all the really cool things that they have in there. So.
Well, there's a couple other kind of in talking about the weather geek and unique items. If you're really looking for something pretty cool, is like we have our winter day trips, which are an opportunity to go to the summit in a snowcat with a trip leader, and then meet the observers and kind of really experience that kind of full-on Arctic winter experience on the summit, but in a safe environment where you can actually go into the building. We have all these guys. Anytime you go up there, you're going to see some winter mountaineer guys that are out there hiking.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they can't come into the building because the state park building is closed in the winter months. And it's like, God, they are ambitious, but this is sort of for the not so hardy, or you can still have that incredible experience, but be in a in a warm environment. So it's a pretty wild trip. Always a unique and definitely special experience.
Right.
But also another kind of cool thing we have right now is we have our membership drive, and Steph Fitzgerald, our membership manager, worked with a designer to create this really cool ornament, and it's got the snowcat and the winds and the tower, and it's the observatory logo, and it's just so neat. And so anyone that becomes a new member or upgrades or buys a gift membership, then they can they get this, and that will run through the end of December. So it's kind of like a cool. And Rob, you just got your membership.
I just became a member. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe I'll just leave this one here with you.
Well, thank you. There we go. And I will display it proudly.
Oh, Hans is trying to.
He's zooming in. There we go.
Zooming
Let
in,
it spin
you
a little.
See, and like Hans said, you can put a flashlight to this in the dark, and I'm sure it will reflect up on the wall.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And you have a cool, So it's kind of neat. So there's kind of just some fun, some fun different things.
Now you were talking about the day trips, and of course you still have the edu trips.
Yeah, well it's an edu trip.
But so the weekend one.
Yeah, there's Saturday. Well, we have an overnight edu trips.
Right, that's what I was referring to.
Those sell out very quickly. We have a few spaces left.
I did one, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had.
Yeah, it's every time you go up there, no matter what time of year, it's always different. It's always amazing, and it's whether you have no visibility, clear visibility. Sometimes you get, when you do an overnight, sometimes you get a little bit of everything.
Oh, we did. We got everything. It was unbelievable.
That's always it is. It's just it's a gift. It's like a very unique.
Yeah, and I got that as a Christmas gift, and it's one of those things that as an experience, you can't match it. I mean, I don't know. Geez, it was a while ago now, 10 years ago anyway, that I did it, and what an unbelievable experience that I had. I mean, we went up, and the weather was cloudy, and then the winds kept climbing, and sustained winds of 90 miles an hour. We were outside for a gust of 117.
Woo, that's
and
tough.
the Rime ice collecting off of us. And then, we were, a friend of mine and I, we were out there. We were just having a great time. Finally, we're like, amazing. I guess we should probably go in. It was just so awesome. And then the next morning, we woke up to crystal clear.
Yeah, that's
to
awesome.
120 mile an hour view, 120 mile views. An unbelievable experience. Plus the educational program that we were involved with was unbelievable. I mean, I would recommend that to anybody, and what a great experience. And especially now, I think a lot of people are getting into experiential, gifts.
Yeah.
So getting somebody a day trip, getting somebody the edu trip, it's something they're not going to go, oh, I'm going to return this tomorrow. They're not going to do it. They're going to. It's a great thing. So.
Yeah, and actually this year one of the neat overnight edu trips that was, two of the observers, Ian Bailey and Tom Padham, have been putting together is a winter storms trip, so they can really share with people some of the incredible weather they've experienced over time.
Wow.
And because that's what's really fascinating to people, and they don't fully understand the extent of what happens up there. And so that's the new one this year that people are really excited about. I don't know if there's any space left on those, but it's worth checking. I mean, there's definitely a couple spaces available, like I said. So.
Absolutely. Or plan ahead for next year.
I know. Yeah, exactly. I know they're pretty coveted. So.
Now, you had also said that Seek the Peak, which is of course your largest fundraiser during the summer, but you're going to be able to start signing up pretty soon.
December 1. The site launches December 1. It always amazes me every year when I'm already back saying, oh, hey, Seek the Peak's going to be starting up again, you're on board. And it's always like, here it comes again. And before you know it, we'll be back out having our Seek the Peak weekend.
There you go.
Yeah, so I actually brought So one part of Seek the Peak is when you register. The goal is obviously a fundraiser for the Mount Washington Observatory. It's our largest annual fundraiser. This year we have OBOS coming on as a presenting sponsor, which we're pretty excited about, and they're going to be our new footwear sponsor, which is neat. Eastern Mountain Sports and the Mount Washington Auto Road every year really support the event and kind of help get the word out there. And the people start to fundraise as early as December 1, and early on we have prize items. And once you're at the $200 level, you start to earn gear and prizes. And the first 500 people to raise $200 always get the backpack, a Seek the Peak T-shirt, a Hearts Turkey dinner. It's just an awesome weekend, and usually the backpack has some items in it. And so today I'm going to go ahead and give away a pack.
Wow, pretty cool. And it's got some stuff in it. Yeah,
it has a couple. Well, Backpacker Magazine, who's one of our sponsors as well, they come every year and they do all kinds of stuff, and they actually also sponsored an Ability Plus team, which was really cool the past couple of years. And so they provide some of the prizes that we give away are from them throughout the whole season. And then this is this Fierce Face Protection custom Seek the Peak face band, which everyone needs right now because it's already going to be like 20 degrees and
that's crazy.
We're already in the winter, so everybody needs one of these already.
So I think we should give that away.
Yeah.
And so we're going to give it away. So 3566619 is the number to call. And a very simple question: how often do they make observations on the summit of Mount Washington? The observers who are up there, they're there all week long. And they make a observation every when. And I hate to say that Chrissy even said what the answer was. So 3566619, win this fabulous Mount Washington Observatory Eastern Mountain Sports backpack. And good morning, White Mountains Today. Do you have an answer for us? Good morning, White Mountains Today.
Hi, every hour, isn't it?
It is every hour, absolutely. Every hour they go out there, rain, snow, sleet, hail, sunny, they go out there. Who's on the phone?
Dave.
Dave, how are you? Where are you calling from today, Dave?
I'm calling from Jackson.
Calling from Jackson, so not too far away from Mount Washington, actually.
No, right at the base.
There you go. Well, we have this fabulous Seek the Peak backpack for you.
Terrific.
All right, we're going to put you on hold, and you're going to be on hold for a little while, so hang with us. Don't go, oh, where'd they go? Because, we got to finish talking with Chrissy here. So, so every hour they're out there. So, when you get up, like the other night I was saying, I was up in the middle of the night, the wind is howling, and I went on the website because I wanted to see what the winds were up there. And they were like, over 100 and everything else. Yeah. And they were out there observing. They're checking the instruments. And that's one of the things that you can find out, obviously, on the edu trips and the day trips, and find out all the instrumentation. They're not just looking at a little monitor on the wall. They're going outside.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reasons it's a manned station. I mean, a lot of times people just have the instrumentation out in sort of the elements, but because of the icing and the extreme conditions up there, these guys are out there, and they'll climb up into that tower, and to make sure that all the instrumentation is de-iced. And you see a lot of pictures and some neat video of them like de-icing, and it is not easy. And in the night observer goes out oftentimes on their own. There is like an alarm system set up so that in the event that
they don't come back,
or if they're not back in the building within 10 minutes, or something, just so one of the observers checks on them. But also if the winds are sustained at a higher amount than like over 100 degrees, I think 100 miles per hour, then oftentimes one of the interns or one of the observers stays up with them, just because it's not an easy undertaking.
No, but and the amazing thing too, of course, is that a lot of the observers are there for a long time. They stay for years and years, because what an experience that they have up there. There's Marty the cat enjoying
Marty's been up there for a while.
Yeah, he's been up there. There's Nin.
Hans was very excited about showing the cats.
I know.
So,
yeah, they are. They're official observers. Marty's got his
custom suit.
checking the wind speed from the wind speed chart.
But yeah, I mean, Ryan naps are long. He's been up there for 12 years.
12 years, amazing.
I mean, that's why you see some of his photography. He does a lot of that amazing photography, because he's the night observer, so he really sees a lot of stuff that most people in the universe don't have the opportunity to see.
Absolutely.
Every hour, and he doesn't miss a beat. And then, but it's a very unique and kind of opportunity, like a job for people coming into that field. And,
absolutely. So, Chrissy, if people want to get more information or if they want to become a member, they can go to mountwashingtonobservatory.org.
Yeah, well, mountwashington.org.
mountwashington.org and or Google Mount Washington Observatory and become a member. Start signing up for Seek the Peak, and definitely check out the Weather Discovery Center, including next weekend.
Exactly.
And throughout the time, and always great things there
Yes.
with Mount Washington Observatory.
Yeah,
So,
thank
Chrissy,
you.
thanks so much for coming by,
Thank you.
and we'll be back here in a minute on White Mountains Today.